Hello students, welcome in the class of Kruskal's algorithm. Myself Rupak Bhattacharjee, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, JIS College of Engineering. So today's topic is very interesting and also very much useful. So before wasting any much time, we are now entering in the elaborate discussion of this algorithm. So what is Kruskal's algorithm and where it is going to be used? This is our first target. Then obviously we are going to explore that how this algorithm is going to be used. So some points we are now going to revisit, which will be the prerequisite for this algorithm. What is a tree? In graph theoretic concept, we know that tree is a special type of graph, and the definition of tree is a graph which is a connected one, and as well as there will be no cycles. So a connected graph without cycles is a tree. So if we think that this is one vertex, this is another vertex, this is a connector, that is our edge here, that is another vertex, and this is another edge. So we are getting, this is one vertex, this is another vertex, this is another vertex. It is a connected graph because from any vertex to another vertex we can go, there is a path, as well as there is no cycle. That means we can't start from a vertex and we can't come to that vertex by a closed path. So this is a connected graph without cycles, which is a tree. Now we are going to get this example. This is a vertex, this is another vertex, this is another vertex, this one is another one, so on. And we see that these edges are connecting these vertices in the form of a tree. Now the next point we have to revisit, all these things are discussed in the previous lectures, still it is required for this algorithm, so a little discussion on this is required. So spanning tree. Now spanning tree is a tree which can span a given graph. That means if a graph is given which is not a tree, then we have to extract out one tree from that graph so that we can span the whole graph from that tree. So let us check. So look at this. We are getting in one graph over here, and it is weighted graph obviously because some weights are given, and why these weights are mentioned will be very much clear to you just after some time. So look at this. If we start it from here and then going here, then here and then here, so it is the tree, but this is the whole graph. So this edge is also a part of this graph, this edge is also a part of this graph, this edge is also a part of this graph, and this one is also. So this is a graph which is obviously not a tree because we see that there is a cycle starting from this and this, and some more cycles are there. We can draw this tree, or we can extract out this tree which can span the given graph. That means this can be treated as a spanning tree. This one can be treated as a spanning tree of this given graph. Now the next point is which one is shortest spanning tree. So before coming into this discussion, it has to be very much clear to us that for a given graph, is it true that always there will be a single spanning tree? And if not, and if there are more than one spanning tree, then what will be the shortest one? Shortest one means we have to sum the weights of that particular spanning tree, and we have to sum in this way for all available spanning trees. The spanning tree which will be having the minimum total weight will be termed as shortest spanning tree. So for this graph, already one spanning tree is drawn. Let us check whether we can get another spanning tree for the same given graph or not. So we are getting another spanning tree which is identified by red line. So what are we getting? There is weight 28, there is weight 9, there is weight 15, there is weight 7, and there is weight 6. So in this particular case, if we think about the total weight, this is 18, this is 6, this is 14, this is 10, and this is 36. And total weight is coming as 84, and here the total weight is coming as 65. So it is very much clear that for a single graph, if we are identifying two spanning trees, we are getting two different weights. It is not guaranteed, but in almost all the cases it may be like that. So if it is different and in this two it is smaller one, but how we can have the guarantee that this is shortest among all possible spanning trees? It is not possible for us to find out all possible spanning trees and then to find out the weight of that all spanning trees and then to find out the minimum one and then to find out the corresponding spanning tree, because if we have a graph with 40 vertices and 60 edges, it will be tough by doing it manually. That is why this algorithm comes into play. So let us check how this algorithm works. So before going into this algorithm, we have some initial verification, and the initial verification tells us that if there is any self loop in the given graph, then we have to discard that, because self loop, if present in the extracted spanning tree, it will obviously violate the definition of tree. So if there is any self loop in the given graph, initially we have to discard it. And then if there are parallel lines, then also what to do? We have to keep only the edge with least weight, because if two vertices are there, suppose v1 and v2, and there are parallel lines with weights 10 and 20, obviously if we keep 20, then the total contribution will be 10 higher than the edge containing 10 weight. So always we have to think about, if there are parallel lines, then we have to keep only the edge with least weight. So now this is our target graph. We have to find out the shortest spanning tree of this graph. So it is very much clear that we are having, there is a connector between E and D and there is another connector between E and D. It is having weight 7, it is having weight 9. Similarly, there is one self loop we are seeing over here. So according to the initial verification, what to do? We have to discard first the self loop and we have to discard the parallel lines among the bigger ones. We have kept the 7 and we have removed the 9. So now this is the graph through which our operation will start. So we have to formulate one table where the correspondence of age and weight will be there. So this is our graph now, and we are now going to construct this table. So how the construction will be going on? We have to find out the smallest weight among all available weights, and if there is a tie, we can write any one first, then the second one. So here we are getting the smallest weight is 6, but before that we have one more important thing, that how many vertices are there. We have A, B, C, D, E, F, 6 vertices. And how many edges are there? There are 9 edges. So when this graph will be converted into a tree, we know that the number of vertices will remain same. So if it is converted to a tree, then number of vertices will remain same. So in spanning tree also the number of vertices will be 6. But what will be the number of edges in that spanning tree? We know that for a tree with n vertices, the number of edges will be n minus 1. So here the number of edges in the spanning tree will be 5. Why we are checking these two things? Because these two things will be required for our terminating criterion of this algorithm. So now let us come back to the formulation of the table, and we are getting 6 is the least weight, so we are writing AE and we are keeping the corresponding weight of AE as 6 in the first entry of this table. After that, what we get? ED. ED is 7. In the same manner, we get AB because it is 9. After that, what we get? We get BD. BD is 10. Similarly, it is EB and EB is 14. Then it is FE and FE is 15. Then AF 18, BC 28 and DC 36. So look at this. All the entries, that means all the weights of this graph, are now substituted in this table according to our need. So first job of this algorithm is done. Then we are going to construct the spanning tree, and look at this, it is again mentioned in this slide also, because this will be required. Any one of these two will be sufficient, but we are writing both the things for our understanding purpose. Now, among all these entries, as our target is to find out what our target is to find out the shortest spanning tree. So obviously we will try to take the minimum one. So we are taking it as AE, and we will draw correspondingly in the step 1 this particular edge, obviously along with the corresponding vertices A and E, and the corresponding weight is also mentioned. Then we are going to search the next smallest one. Please take this particular part into your account very cautiously. Now look at this ED. So in the second step we get ED, and in the first step we get AE. So when we are thinking about our first step, we get this one. Now we are getting the second step, and the second step what we get? This particular tree. Let us proceed further, and we get AB is the smallest one among the available things, and it is having weight 9. So in the third one, what we get? In the third one we get this particular structure. Now before going further, I want to emphasize on this, that in every cases what you are getting, please try to concentrate and try to understand this thing very clearly. This is also a tree. This is also a tree. This is also a tree. How many vertices are there? 2. How many edges are there? 1. How many vertices are there? 3. How many edges are there? Obviously it will be 2. How many vertices are there? 4. How many edges are there? 3. So obviously our target is to make 6 and 5. We get 4 and 3. Keeping this thing in our mind that it will continue as a tree and it will contain the edges so that the weight, total weight, remains minimum. So now our available things are BD, EB, FE, AF, BC DC. Which one is smallest? BD. Now if I take BD for keeping the weight minimum, then there will be one particular edge coming, and if this edge came, then it will become not a tree because there will be a cycle. So if we have to think about that BD, if we consider, then the total weight will be minimum, but our main target is violated, that it will be have to be a tree. So BD is not going to consider. So what is the next one? The next one is 14. That is EB. Can we consider this? E and B? Again the same problem is coming. We can't consider this E and B. Then according to the table we are getting FE. So let us check that whether we can take FE or not, and obviously we can take FE. Look at this. So in the next step our structure will be this. So what are the things we are getting? Is it a tree? Yes, it is a tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many vertices are there? 5 vertices. How many edges we get? 1, 2, 3, 4. So look at this. Every step from first to second, second to third, and third to fourth. Every step, the total number of vertices are increased by 1, and the total number of edges are also increased by 1, and in such a way that the structure what we are getting remains as a tree. So now our target is to get 6 and 5, but we get 5 and 4. So in the next step, I don't know what will be going to be added, but in the next step our job will be completed. It is crystal clear to us, because in the next step we are going to get a tree which will have 6 vertices and obviously which will have 5 edges. So according to the same logic, BC is coming. Why AF is not coming? Because if we take AF, the number of vertices will not increase, the number of edges will increase, which is not our requirement. Or in different way you can think, it will create a cycle which will violate of the construction of tree. So AF, though it is having 18, which is less than 28, still we have to discard that, we have to go for BC. And the structure will be something like that. So we get this whole thing as this structure. Is it a tree? Yes, it is a tree. How many vertices are there? A, B, C, D, E, F. All vertices are now present. And how many edges are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got this as 5. So our requirement of 6 vertices, 5 edges is fulfilled, first of all. Second, it is a tree. Third, as we have selected the edges from this particular table, which is written from smaller to higher order, the things what we are getting, the summation of this thing will be obviously minimum, and that is why the tree which is generated here is going to be a shortest spanning tree. So first of all we have to think about 3 things. One, it has to be shortest. That is why we can call it about minimum. Second, it has to span the given tree, the given graph, and finally it has to be a tree. So we are talking about shortest spanning tree, but we are actually executing from this direction, that it has to be a tree first, then it has to span the original given graph, and it has to span in such a way that the total weight of that tree will be the minimum among all available spanning trees. So initially we have seen that this graph is taken, and for example 2 spanning trees are already exhibited there, but their total weights are different. Now let us check what the total weight of this particular thing is coming. So this is our graph through for which we are actually trying to find out the spanning tree, shortest spanning tree, and we get it the shortest spanning tree like this, because already we have shown how this spanning tree is there using Kruskal's algorithm. So what we get, the total weight of the shortest spanning tree is nothing but the summation of all these weights of these edges, which is nothing but 65. So I think it is now clear to you, and this is the assignment you can take for your own practice and own understanding. We are getting there a graph where the number of vertices are how many? A, B, C, D, E, F. So it is 6. How many edges are there? We are not going to count. We are going to just be confident that the spanning tree for this graph will be coming with 6 vertices and 5 edges, because n and n minus 1 relationship. And obviously there is a self loop, so this self loop will be discarded, and if there is any parallel line, then we have to keep the edge with least weight, and we have to discard the edges which are having higher weight than that one, and then we have to construct a table according to the weight from minimum to higher order. Here you can see that when you are going to write AB and AD, you can write in any order, AB first, AD second, or AD first, AB second, because there is a tie, and there are also some ties. Here we are seeing 3 4s, here you are seeing 2 2s, here we are seeing 3 3s, and only 1 5. Now, before concluding this lecture, I just want to say, you please try to find out the shortest spanning tree for this graph, and you please try to find out all possible shortest spanning trees for this graph, because as you are getting some ties, this is a question to you, that are you getting some guarantee that there will be more than one shortest spanning tree? And if it is so, is it possible for you to find out all possible shortest spanning trees from this algorithm for this given graph or not? So up to this, we conclude this lecture. Thank you for listening and thank you for learning. Hope to see you in the next class. Bye.